It's a community desire to close the alley, basically to put up gates and have it cleaned up. We generally call they're called nuisance alleys because people are dumping things in there. There might be hazardous waste back there, broken bottles, drug use, gang use activity, people sleeping back there, people drinking, anything like that. Community has to show an initiative and approach, at least in Los Angeles, they have to approach the city and they have to petition the city to get gates put up and to have it closed down. The way they do that is they canvass the neighborhood, and the homeowners who directly abut the alley, they have to get at least a 50% approval from the homeowners on that alley to have the city come in and clean it up.
The alley behind my house, actually I've never been in back of it because I could never even actually walk through it. There's wood, there's drywall, there's everything. You'll find buckets of oil, you find practically anything back there.
They have found bodies there.
I told you.
They have, where they killed people and they just
and they sit
part
there,
of the
they
trash
get rot.
and they leave
They
there.
sit there for days. Nobody goes back there.
It's like we fear our alley, put it that way.
If the communities come together and do something about it.
Could I be that person? Yeah, I think I could.
Yeah.
I believe we are responsible for our own community. Therefore, we can make this place a better place if we all get together.
Yes.
Anything that it'll take, I'll help do, because it's not really safe for children anyway.
Everybody that live on that certain block, on both sides of the alleys, they got to get together, have little meetings.
That's the thing here. If we try to have something nice and everything, the neighbors would like to follow and have their piece also looking nice.
If the alley where my home is located is plagued with illegal dumping, criminal activities, and all sorts of community concerns, then I would call Nuisance Alley Conversion Project and get a petition going, because that's the only way I would be able to secure my alley and address all these concerns with no cost to me or my neighbors.
The alley has been a place where people dump their trash. It's been an eyesore for a long time, for decades. There was drug dealing that went on in the alley. Prostitution went on in the alley. It was gang turf in the alley between two local gangs. You know, that just seemed like the logical place to begin. If we're about transformation, if we want to make a difference you know, better the community, better the lives of people who live in the community, why not start here? Why not convert something ugly into something beautiful, something negative into something positive?
It was terrible, a lot of mattress, trash. You can see a drug addict.
Once it was just some guy, you know, throwing bottles, just random. I mean, he was obviously high and he was just throwing bottles at the wall right there and just crash, crash.
People, drugs, make a drug.
That alley was plagued with graffiti and 18th Street gang tagging and transient encampments and narcotics activity. Mattresses or couches, homeless people looking to find a place to stay. But with that brings the smell of urine and feces and the debris that goes with it.
Antes estaba muy sucio, había mucha basura, muchas personas haciendo drogas.
There was prostitution, I mean, just anything. Parties at night, I mean, it disturbed the neighborhood noise-wise, and we had to call bulky item pickup so many times because people dumped stoves here and homeless people were sleeping here. There was defecation. It was just really, really bad.
Since they put the gates up to build a garden, I haven't seen any drug usage in the alley. I haven't seen anybody, you know, just vandalism.
I haven't seen any tagging within the area. I haven't seen any transients within the area or narcotics activity.
Ahorita está cambiando. Me gusta más porque va a cambiar.
I came here on Sunday morning before church and I noticed that there was this big purple dinosaur jumper in the alleyway, and there was barbecues fired up, and by, you know, by noon, there was, you know, 40, 50 kids playing in that alley. Again, it's still an alley. It was still asphalt, at that point, but the change had already begun. And just the little change that happened, there was already this kind of invasion of new life that didn't exist before.
Why don't you go around and talk to your neighbors who probably are just as annoyed by it and don't know how to change it?
The organizing side of it was kind of a high energy, turn out a lot of folks to do canvass the neighborhood, pass out flyers, get on the horn, call people, engage the councilman's office, have an action, stuff like that. That's the exciting part.
By becoming an activist, we start investigating. And that's the first thing. One of the first things that I learned is to not to be afraid.
It gives people an opportunity to have an input in their environment, I think. It gives them a chance to make a change without sitting in front of their TV and just watching people make changes. Do
something for your community and don't be afraid. You want to live better and you want to see pretty things, you had to do it yourself.
Our world is getting way too dirty and way too messy, and we need to start thinking about it and not thinking that everybody else is going to do it.
You have to take the risk of going next door, of knocking on your neighbor's door, of introducing yourself, of telling your neighbors something about yourself.
I would think everybody would want to take initiative and have an alley converted into a little parkway for them to have a little outgoing thing like barbecue, take their kids out where they ain't got to worry about traffic.
Estoy muy contenta ayudando en el jardín.
Grass, walkways, benches, trees, shrubs, celebration.
The change is going to be a more beautiful place, a safe place, and a better, I think, for everybody. You're going to see it later when finished. Really nice place. Yeah.
I like to walk a lot and to have a nice garden to walk through in the neighborhood.
Se va a ver más bonito, más limpio.
I think it's important for communities to come out and work in a project like this. It gives them a sense of ownership, and to have them out here getting to know each other, to putting their sweat into it. Some of them have skin knuckles, so a little bit of blood here and there. It really gives them a sense of ownership, and they're going to want to come back and actually use the park and tell people, hey, I helped build this thing.
And it's not so much work. It's a few phone calls, a little paperwork, and then see what happens.
Get a couple people together and start canvassing the neighborhood, bringing up. You have to be a promoter for this alleyway. You have to get started. At some point, there's going to be snags. You're going to run into roadblocks. You're going to need to make 2 phone calls a week as opposed to 1, asking someone for assistance. You're going to have to organize community meetings to get people out there. You're going to have to get food out there. Anything you can to get people out there, you have to do it. If you want 1,000 reasons why, I can give you 1,000 reasons why not. Do you want the gang activity to continue? Do you want transients still sleeping in there? Do you want drug activity in there?
Once an alley has been gated and converted, I urge you to commit to maintaining it.